Have you ever wondered why some people navigate life's challenges with ease, while others feel overwhelmed? What if you could unlock the secret to making better decisions and solving problems more effectively? Welcome to Think, Analyze, Solve, a path to personal development through critical thinking. This book is your guide to developing a powerful mindset that empowers you to approach any situation with clarity and confidence. Whether you're facing everyday dilemmas or complex issues, critical thinking equips you with the tools to understand, evaluate, and act wisely. We'll embark on a journey together, exploring practical strategies and engaging in hands-on exercises that make learning both accessible and enjoyable. Each chapter builds upon the last, guiding you step by step toward a stronger, more agile mind. So, are you ready to transform the way you think and unlock your full potential? Let's begin this exciting journey toward personal growth and better outcomes. Chapter 1. The Foundation. Why critical thinking matters. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a situation where you didn't know what to do or felt uncertain about a decision? Maybe it was something as straightforward as choosing a career path or as challenging as resolving a conflict. These moments can feel overwhelming, leaving you second-guessing your options. However, they also highlight the importance of a skill we often overlook: critical thinking. This chapter lays the groundwork for what critical thinking is and why it's a skill that can transform every aspect of your life, from how you solve problems to how you communicate with others. Critical thinking is the ability to think clearly, rationally, and independently. It's about asking the right questions, seeking out evidence, and making informed decisions instead of relying solely on gut feelings or the opinions of others. Imagine you're planning a trip to a place you've never been before. Would you just pack a bag and head to the airport without checking your destination's weather, researching accommodation, or learning about the local culture? Probably not. You'd want to gather information to make your trip enjoyable and stress-free. Critical thinking is like that. It's the thoughtful preparation that allows you to navigate life with confidence. When applied consistently, it empowers you to face challenges with a clear mind and a strong sense of direction. In today's world, where information is everywhere and opinions can be louder than facts, critical thinking is more crucial than ever. For instance, consider how often we encounter headlines on social media that spark outrage or excitement. Without critical thinking, it's easy to take those headlines at face value and react emotionally. But a critical thinker pauses, questions the source, and examines the evidence before drawing conclusions. You might ask, is this information credible? What's the context? Could there be another side to this story? This skill not only helps you make better decisions, but also protects you from being misled or manipulated. In a world where misinformation spreads rapidly, critical thinking is your defense against jumping to conclusions or acting impulsively. One of the simplest ways to begin practicing critical thinking is by recognizing its impact on everyday decisions. Think about a time when you acted impulsively and later regretted it. Perhaps you bought an expensive gadget because a salesperson convinced you it was a must-have, only to realize it didn't meet your needs. In contrast, a critical thinker would ask questions. Do I really need this? What are the alternatives? Is this the best use of my money? These questions help you pause and reflect, leading to better choices. By incorporating this habit into your decision-making process, you can avoid unnecessary stress and ensure your actions align with your priorities and values. Let's take another example. Imagine you're having a disagreement with a friend. They believe strongly in something you don't agree with. It's easy to get defensive or dismiss their perspective altogether, but critical thinking offers another approach. Instead of immediately arguing or shutting down the conversation, a critical thinker would seek to understand. You might ask, why do they feel this way? What experiences have shaped their perspective? Could I be missing something in my own view? This approach doesn't just help resolve conflicts, it deepens relationships and builds mutual respect. It demonstrates that you value understanding over winning, fostering trust and open communication. Building a foundation of critical thinking starts with curiosity. The more curious you are, the more questions you ask, and the more you challenge assumptions, the stronger your critical thinking muscles become. It's not about being skeptical of everything, but about being thoughtful and intentional in how you approach information, decisions, and interactions. For example, when presented with a bold claim, whether it's about a new health trend, a business strategy, or a political issue, pause and ask, what evidence supports this? Who benefits from this claim? What am I not being told? Over time, this habit becomes second nature, allowing you to think with clarity even in high-pressure situations. To make critical thinking practical and actionable, start small. The next time you're faced with a choice, pause and ask yourself 3 simple questions. What do I know? How do I know it? What's missing? These questions help ground your decision-making in reality, rather than assumptions or emotions. For instance, if you're deciding whether to take on a new project at work, consider what information you have about the project's goals and requirements, how reliable that information is, and what additional details you need before committing. These steps ensure that your decision is not only thoughtful, but also informed. As you practice critical thinking, you'll notice its benefits ripple through all areas of your life. At work, it helps you evaluate opportunities, solve problems, and communicate ideas effectively. In your personal life, it strengthens your relationships, enhances your decision-making, and boosts your confidence. You'll find that challenges that once seemed overwhelming become manageable, and conflicts that once felt insurmountable turn into opportunities for growth and understanding. Critical thinking is more than a skill, it's a mindset. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, intentional rather than impulsive, and open-minded rather than judgmental. As you cultivate this mindset, you'll develop the tools to navigate uncertainty, adapt to change, and make decisions that align with your goals and values. With practice, critical thinking becomes not just a way to approach problems, but a way to approach life. To help you begin applying this concept, try this simple exercise. Think about a recent decision you made, big or small. It could be anything from choosing what to eat for dinner to deciding whether to take a new job. Reflect on the process you used to make that decision. Did you rely on emotion, convenience, or advice from others? Or did you gather information, weigh the pros and cons, and think it through carefully? Write down the steps you took and what you might do differently next time to apply more critical thinking. By analyzing your own thought process, you'll start to see opportunities for growth and improvement. This chapter is just the beginning of your journey. By understanding why critical thinking matters, you've taken the first step toward a more empowered and thoughtful way of living. In the chapters to come, we'll explore how to deepen this skill, tackle complex problems, and embrace challenges with a mindset that values growth and clarity. For now, take a moment to appreciate this starting point. You've chosen to invest in yourself, and that's a decision worth celebrating. Chapter 2: Awareness. Understanding your thought patterns. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I always think this way," or "That's just who I am"? While these statements may feel true, they reveal something important: the influence of your thought patterns. These patterns, often automatic and unnoticed, shape how you perceive the world, make decisions, and respond to challenges. But here's the empowering truth. Your thought patterns are not fixed. They are habits of the mind that can be recognized and transformed. Becoming aware of your thought patterns is the first step toward reshaping them into tools for growth and success. Thought patterns are the habitual ways your mind processes information and responds to situations. They're like well-worn paths in a forest. Over time, they become easier to follow because they've been reinforced through repetition. Some patterns serve you well, like focusing on solutions during a challenge. Others, like doubting yourself or jumping to conclusions, can hold you back. These automatic responses influence how you interpret experiences and what actions you take. The good news is that with awareness and practice, you can identify and reshape these patterns to better align with your goals and values, creating new mental paths that lead to more productive outcomes. Consider this. You're preparing for an important presentation. A common unhelpful thought pattern might be, "I'm going to mess this up. I'm not good at public speaking." This kind of thinking not only increases anxiety, but also undermines your confidence, making it harder to perform at your best. On the other hand, a helpful pattern might sound like, I've prepared for this. I'll do my best, and that's enough. The difference between these two responses lies in how you interpret the situation and the mental habits you've built over time. Shifting from a pattern of self-doubt to one of self-encouragement creates space for you to approach challenges with greater confidence and calm. Let's look at a relatable example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to a meeting. Your initial reaction might be frustration or anger, accompanied by thoughts like, "This always happens to me," or "Why didn't I leave earlier?" These patterns, while natural, often escalate stress and leave you feeling powerless. A more constructive pattern might involve taking a deep breath and thinking, "I can't control the traffic, but I can use this time to listen to a podcast or plan what I'll say at the meeting." This small shift in thinking transforms the situation from a source of frustration into an opportunity for preparation or learning. The ability to reframe situations is a cornerstone of building healthier thought patterns. Understanding your thought patterns isn't about judging yourself. It's about noticing how you think and recognizing the impact those thoughts have on your emotions and actions. Self-awareness is the foundation of change. When you become aware of a negative pattern, you gain the power to interrupt it and replace it with a more empowering one. Over time, this practice reshapes the mental pathways in your brain, making positive thinking more natural. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and rewire itself. Every time you replace a negative thought with a constructive one, you're strengthening the connections that support healthier patterns. Another key aspect of thought patterns is the role of assumptions and biases. These are the shortcuts your brain takes to make sense of the world. While they're useful in many situations, they can also lead to errors in judgment. For instance, if you assume someone is unfriendly because they didn't greet you, you might avoid interacting with them, missing the chance to form a positive connection. Similarly, confirmation bias might lead you to focus only on evidence that supports your existing beliefs, ignoring valuable alternative perspectives. Becoming aware of your biases helps you question them and make choices based on reality rather than assumptions, opening the door to clearer thinking and better decisions. Building this awareness takes practice, but it's a skill anyone can develop. Start by paying attention to your thoughts in different situations. Are they helpful or harmful? Do they reflect reality, or are they influenced by fear or doubt? For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'll never be good at this," pause and ask, "Is that true? Or am I just feeling discouraged because I haven't mastered it yet?" The more you observe your thinking, the more insight you gain into your patterns and how they shape your experiences. Writing your thoughts in a journal can also help you identify recurring themes and evaluate whether those patterns are serving or hindering you. To take this practice further, challenge yourself to replace unhelpful patterns with constructive ones. If you catch yourself catastrophizing, thinking the worst-case scenario will happen, try focusing on evidence that suggests a more balanced view. For instance, instead of thinking, "If I fail this project, my career is over," remind yourself, "Every challenge is an opportunity to learn. Even if this doesn't go perfectly, I'll gain valuable experience for next time." By consciously shifting your perspective, you create a habit of resilience that can carry you through even the toughest challenges. Your thought patterns shape your reality, but they don't have to define it. By becoming aware of your habitual ways of thinking and taking deliberate steps to reshape them, you can build a mindset that supports your growth, confidence, and success. Thought patterns are like tools. You have the power to sharpen, replace, or redesign them to better serve your goals. With practice, you'll find that positive, constructive thinking becomes second nature, unlocking your potential and empowering you to navigate life's challenges with clarity and strength. To apply what you've learned, try this exercise. For one day, keep a thought journal. Write down the situations you encounter, the thoughts that arise, and how those thoughts make you feel. At the end of the day, review your notes. Look for recurring patterns. Were there moments where your thoughts helped or hindered you? Reflect on how you might approach similar situations differently next time. This simple practice will deepen your self-awareness and help you take the first steps toward reshaping unhelpful patterns. As we move forward, remember that self-awareness is a journey, not a destination. By understanding your thought patterns, you're building the foundation for greater clarity and control in your life. Each time you notice a pattern and choose to change it, you're creating a better version of yourself. Embrace this process with curiosity and compassion, knowing that every small step you take brings you closer to your goals. Chapter 3: The Power of Questions. Unlocking Clarity. Have you ever felt stuck, unsure of what step to take next? Whether it's deciding on a career move, solving a conflict, or understanding a complex problem, the key to finding clarity often lies not in having all the answers, but in asking the right questions. Questions are more than just inquiries. They're tools that unlock understanding, challenge assumptions, and open doors to new possibilities. This chapter explores how mastering the art of questioning can transform the way you think, solve problems, and connect with others, making it a cornerstone of critical thinking and personal growth. Questions are the foundation of critical thinking. They guide your focus and determine how you approach a situation. Imagine you're tasked with solving a conflict at work. If you ask, "Why is this person so difficult?" you're likely to reinforce frustration and a sense of helplessness. This kind of question frames the problem in a way that limits solutions. But if you ask, "What does this person need, and how can I meet them halfway?" you create an opportunity for understanding and resolution. This simple shift demonstrates how the questions you choose can shape not only your mindset, but also the outcomes you achieve. Better questions lead to better possibilities. The quality of your questions shapes the quality of your thinking. Take a simple scenario. You're considering buying a new car. If you ask, "What's the cheapest option?" you might overlook long-term factors like maintenance, fuel efficiency, and resale value. This question narrows your focus and may lead to a short-term solution that costs more in the long run. Instead, if you ask, "What car fits my needs and budget while being reliable over time?" you're likely to make a more thoughtful and strategic decision. Great questions don't just seek immediate answers. They prompt you to dig deeper, explore alternatives, and consider the bigger picture. They turn decision-making into a deliberate, informed process. Real-life examples highlight the power of effective questioning. Think about a student preparing for an exam. A common question might be, "What do I need to memorize?" While this focuses on short-term retention, it limits deeper understanding. A more impactful question could be, "What concepts do I need to understand deeply, and how can I apply them?" The latter encourages critical thinking, better comprehension, and long-lasting learning. Similarly, in a work context, asking, "How can we hit this deadline?" may solve a short-term challenge, but asking, "How can we improve our processes to meet deadlines more consistently?" leads to sustainable improvements. By reframing the way we ask questions, we unlock better results. Questions also play a vital role in relationships. Consider a conversation with a friend who's upset. Asking, "What's wrong with you?" might come across as dismissive or accusatory, shutting down the conversation. On the other hand, asking, "How can I support you?" or "What do you need right now?" invites openness and trust. These thoughtful questions improve communication, demonstrate empathy, and show others that you value their perspective. They don't just resolve immediate concerns, they strengthen bonds and foster deeper connections. To develop the habit of asking better questions, start with curiosity. Curiosity drives exploration and pushes you to dig deeper instead of accepting things at face value. When faced with a problem, resist the urge to jump to conclusions or rely on assumptions. Ask yourself, what am I missing? What assumptions am I making? What alternatives could I explore? For instance, if a project at work isn't progressing as planned, instead of asking, "Why is this failing?" ask, "What's working and how can we build on it? What challenges haven't we addressed yet?" These questions lead to more innovative solutions and prevent you from getting stuck in limited thinking. One common barrier to effective questioning is the fear of sounding foolish or uncertain. In professional and social settings, people often shy away from asking questions, worried they'll appear uninformed or weak. But the truth is, asking questions is a sign of strength, not weakness. It shows that you're willing to learn, grow, and engage with the situation. In fact, some of the most successful individuals credit their achievements to their ability to ask insightful questions. They understand that every question, no matter how simple, has the potential to uncover valuable insights. The act of asking is itself a demonstration of courage and curiosity. Another important skill in effective questioning is patience. Not all answers come immediately, and not all questions will yield obvious solutions. Asking thoughtful questions often requires a willingness to sit with uncertainty and explore different angles. For example, when launching a new product, a company might start by asking, "What do customers want?" But deeper questions like, "What problems are customers trying to solve, and how can we address them differently?" might take longer to answer but lead to breakthroughs. The best questions challenge you to look beyond the surface and embrace complexity. Mastering the art of questioning takes practice, but its rewards are transformative. Start by incorporating deliberate questioning into your daily routine. When facing a decision, write down a list of questions to explore the issue from multiple angles. Reflect on past situations where a better question might have led to a better outcome. Over time, you'll develop a habit of asking insightful, purposeful questions that enhance your ability to think critically and creatively. Questions have the power to shift perspectives, uncover solutions, and deepen relationships. They are the starting point for clarity and progress, turning confusion into understanding and obstacles into opportunities. By becoming intentional about the questions you ask, you empower yourself to navigate life's challenges with curiosity, confidence, and purpose. In every situation, remember, it's not just about finding answers, it's about asking the questions that matter most. Let's apply these ideas with a practical exercise. Think about a challenge you're currently facing. It could be a decision, a problem, or even a goal you're working toward. Take 5 minutes to write down as many questions as you can about this challenge. Don't worry about answering them yet. Just focus on generating questions. Once you've finished, review your list and choose 1 or 2 questions that stand out. Reflect on how these questions might guide you toward a solution or a new perspective. Asking the right questions is a skill that grows with practice. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. Each question you ask is a step toward greater clarity, understanding, and progress. Remember, it's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage and curiosity to keep asking. In the chapters ahead, we'll continue building on this foundation, exploring how questioning can deepen your analysis, enhance your creativity, and bring you closer to your goals. For now, celebrate the power of your questions and the doors they can open. Chapter 4. Breaking it down. Analyzing complex problems. Have you ever faced a problem so overwhelming that you didn't know where to begin? It's easy to feel stuck when a challenge seems too big or complicated to tackle. But what if the secret to solving even the most daunting problems lies in breaking them down into smaller, manageable pieces? By taking a step-by-step approach, you can transform confusion into clarity and tackle challenges with confidence. This chapter explores the art of analyzing complex problems, showing how thoughtful, deliberate steps can make even the most overwhelming tasks achievable. At its core, analyzing a complex problem is about understanding its parts. Imagine trying to complete a large jigsaw puzzle. If you focus on the entire puzzle at once, it can feel impossible to make progress. But when you start grouping similar pieces together, edges, colors, patterns, you create order out of chaos. Similarly, with problem solving, breaking a challenge into smaller components allows you to focus on each piece individually. This approach not only makes the process more manageable, but also reduces the stress and uncertainty that come with tackling a large, undefined problem. To understand this concept, let's consider a relatable example. Imagine you're planning a big event, like a wedding. At first glance, the task feels overwhelming. There are venues to book, guests to invite, menus to plan, and decorations to choose. Without a structured approach, it's easy to feel paralyzed by the enormity of the task. However, by breaking the process into categories, location, guest list, catering, and decor, you can focus on one aspect at a time. This method helps you prioritize, organize, and systematically address each element, ensuring no detail is overlooked. Additionally, tackling one category at a time creates a sense of progress. boosting your confidence as you move forward. Breaking problems down isn't just about making tasks easier. It's also about gaining clarity. Often, a complex problem appears overwhelming because we haven't fully understood what's involved. For example, consider a student struggling with preparing for multiple exams. Instead of thinking, "I have so much to study," they can break it down. What subjects do I need to focus on? Which topics are most challenging? How much time do I have? By analyzing these components, they can prioritize their efforts and create a clear, actionable study plan. This process not only helps them manage their time effectively, but also reduces the anxiety that comes from facing an undefined workload. Another benefit of breaking down problems is that it helps identify hidden opportunities and obstacles. Suppose you're working on a project at work, and it feels like there are endless tasks to complete. By analyzing the project step by step, you might notice that some tasks depend on others, or that certain steps can be streamlined or delegated. For instance, you might realize that automating a repetitive task could save significant time, or that collaborating with a colleague could make a daunting step more manageable. This approach allows you to work smarter, not harder, and often reveals solutions you might have overlooked when viewing the problem as a whole. One effective technique for breaking down problems is called chunking. Chunking involves grouping related tasks or elements together to simplify the process. For example, if you're preparing to move to a new home, you might divide the task into chunks like packing, notifying utilities, and arranging transportation. Each chunk represents a manageable piece of the larger puzzle, making it easier to plan and execute. Chunking not only organizes your workload, but also helps you tackle tasks in a logical sequence, reducing the risk of feeling overwhelmed. Real-life examples highlight the power of this approach. Take the story of Emma, a small business owner who wanted to launch a new product. Initially, the process felt overwhelming. Designing the product, marketing it, and managing production seemed like too much to handle. However, by breaking the project into stages, she focused on one step at a time. First creating a prototype, then testing it, and finally building a marketing campaign. This method not only reduced her stress, but also helped her stay organized and meet her goals. Emma's success shows how incremental progress can lead to significant achievements, even in complex projects. Analyzing complex problems also encourages a mindset of resilience. When you encounter setbacks, breaking the problem into smaller parts allows you to pinpoint the issue and adjust your approach without giving up. For instance, if a runner preparing for a marathon struggles with long-distance training, they can break their training into shorter, more achievable runs, gradually increasing the distance. This incremental progress builds confidence and keeps them moving forward, proving that even the toughest challenges can be overcome with persistence and a clear plan. The beauty of breaking down problems lies in its simplicity and adaptability. No matter the scale of the challenge, from personal goals to professional projects, this approach provides a roadmap for action. The next time you face a daunting problem, start by asking, what are the main components of this issue? Which part can I tackle first? What's within my control? By answering these questions, you'll transform an overwhelming situation into a series of manageable steps, empowering yourself to take action with clarity and purpose. Breaking complex problems into smaller pieces doesn't just make them easier to solve, it makes you more confident, resilient, and effective. Each step you take builds momentum, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and progress. By adopting this approach, you'll discover that no problem is too big to tackle when you take it one piece at a time. Now it's time to apply this concept to your own life. Think of a complex problem or goal you're currently facing. It could be anything from managing a busy schedule to achieving a personal milestone. Take a moment to write down the problem in its entirety. Then, break it into smaller parts or steps. Ask yourself, what's the first thing I can focus on? Which part feels most manageable right now? By organizing your thoughts and creating a clear plan, you'll feel more in control and ready to take action. Breaking down problems isn't just a strategy. It's a skill that grows with practice. Each time you use it, you'll find it easier to approach challenges with confidence and clarity. Remember, no problem is too big when you take it one step at a time. As we move into the next chapter, we'll explore how to evaluate the information you gather during this process, ensuring that your decisions are rooted in facts and logic. For now, celebrate the progress you've made in learning to tackle complexity with purpose and determination. Chapter 5, The Evidence Lens, Evaluating Information Critically. Have you ever acted on information only to realize later it wasn't accurate? In a world overflowing with opinions, headlines, and data, separating fact from fiction has never been more important. Decisions based on flawed information can lead to wasted time, missed opportunities, or even harm. The answer lies in evaluating information critically, a skill that not only protects you from misinformation, but also empowers you to make informed choices. This chapter explores how to assess the evidence you encounter and why approaching information with a discerning eye is essential in today's fast-paced world. By learning this skill, you'll build a foundation for smarter decisions and greater confidence in the accuracy of your choices. Critical evaluation begins with a simple question: is this information reliable? It's easy to accept what we hear, see, or read without questioning its validity, especially when it aligns with our beliefs or fits a convenient narrative. However, reliable decisions come from reliable sources, and this requires careful scrutiny. Imagine you're planning a diet change and come across an article claiming a certain food burns calories while you sleep. At first glance, it sounds appealing, but jumping in without questioning the evidence can lead to wasted effort or even harm. A critical thinker would pause and ask, what evidence supports this claim? Who conducted the study, and is it credible? This deliberate approach saves you from acting on unfounded claims and encourages healthier, evidence-based habits. Let's break this down further with an example. Suppose you're scrolling through social media and see a post that says a new law has been passed affecting your taxes. The information seems urgent, and you feel tempted to share it with others to spread the word. However, a critical thinker knows the importance of verification. You pause, search for credible sources, such as government websites or trusted news outlets, and quickly discover that the claim is either exaggerated or entirely false. By taking this extra step, you prevent unnecessary panic or confusion among your peers. This habit of checking before reacting not only protects you, but also fosters trust in the information you share with others. Evaluating information also means understanding the difference between opinions and facts. Facts are objective, measurable, and supported by evidence, while opinions reflect personal perspectives and subjective interpretations. Both have value, but they serve different purposes. For example, a product review that says, "This phone is the best on the market," is an opinion influenced by the reviewer's preferences. In contrast, "This phone has a battery life of 12 hours, as tested in a lab setting," is a fact supported by specific evidence. When making decisions, prioritize factual information to ensure accuracy, while treating opinions as supplementary insights that can add context but shouldn't drive your decisions entirely. Another key element of evaluation is recognizing bias. Bias occurs when information is presented in a way that favors a particular viewpoint or agenda, often at the expense of objectivity. For instance, a company promoting its product might highlight its strengths while omitting potential drawbacks, steering your perception toward a favorable but incomplete view. Recognizing bias doesn't mean dismissing the information entirely, but it does mean approaching it with caution. Consider the context in which the information is presented, ask questions about what might be missing, and seek out additional perspectives to form a balanced understanding. Doing so allows you to make more informed and fair decisions. One tool that helps in evaluating information is the credibility checklist. Ask yourself key questions. Who is the source of this information? Are they an expert or authority on the subject? Is the information supported by reliable evidence, such as data or research? Is it current and relevant to the situation? Applying this checklist can quickly identify red flags such as outdated statistics, sources with conflicts of interest, or sensationalist headlines designed to provoke rather than inform. Practicing this step regularly helps build a habit of discernment, enabling you to separate valuable insights from noise. Real-life examples of poor evaluation abound. Think of the many viral hoaxes or misleading advertisements that circulate widely before being debunked. These situations highlight the importance of pausing to question what you encounter, even when it appears convincing. On the flip side, successful evaluation can lead to better outcomes. For instance, a job seeker who carefully researches a company's reputation, culture, and employee reviews is more likely to make a well-informed career decision than someone who relies solely on a flashy job posting or recruiter pitch. By digging deeper, they ensure their decision aligns with their professional goals and values, avoiding potential regrets. To see the value of critical evaluation in action, let's revisit a common scenario: managing finances. Imagine you're considering an investment opportunity that promises high returns with little risk, a tempting offer for anyone. A quick evaluation reveals several red flags, such as no transparent details about the investment strategy, overly optimistic claims, and vague answers to your questions. Instead of proceeding, you consult a financial advisor and conduct further research, uncovering that the opportunity is likely a scam. By questioning the evidence and seeking expert advice, you safeguard your resources and avoid unnecessary losses. This practice underscores the importance of diligence in evaluating high-stakes information. Critical evaluation is not just about avoiding mistakes. It's about building confidence in your ability to make sound decisions. Each time you practice questioning evidence, verifying sources, and identifying biases, you strengthen your analytical skills and become more adept at navigating today's information-rich world. The more you engage in this process, the more natural it becomes, enabling you to approach challenges with clarity and assurance. By embracing critical evaluation, you equip yourself to make decisions that are informed, thoughtful, and aligned with your goals. Now it's time to practice. Think of a recent piece of information that influenced your opinion or decision. It could be something you read online, heard from a friend, or saw in the news. Reflect on how you evaluated its reliability. Did you check the source? Look for evidence? Consider potential biases? If not, what could you do differently next time? Take a few minutes to write down your thoughts and outline steps to improve your evaluation process. Critical evaluation isn't about skepticism for its own sake. It's about building trust in your decisions and the information you rely on. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in navigating today's complex world. In the next chapter, we'll explore how broadening your perspective enhances your critical thinking, helping you see beyond your assumptions and embrace new possibilities. For now, celebrate the power of questioning evidence and sharpening your ability to think clearly and confidently. Chapter 6: Perspective Shift: Seeing Beyond Your Viewpoint. Have you ever been certain you were right about something, only to discover later that you missed an important detail or misunderstood the situation? It's a humbling experience, but it also highlights an essential skill in critical thinking: the ability to see beyond your own perspective. Recognizing that your viewpoint is just one of many can open the door to greater understanding, better decision-making, and stronger relationships. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of shifting perspectives and how adopting this skill can transform the way you think and interact with the world around you. We all see the world through a unique lens shaped by our experiences, beliefs, and emotions. While this individuality is valuable, it can also create blind spots that limit our understanding. For instance, if you've always grown up in a city, you might view rural life as slow-paced or lacking in opportunities. Meanwhile, someone from a rural area might see city life as stressful, chaotic, and impersonal. Both perspectives hold elements of truth, but neither provides the full picture. Understanding the broader context requires stepping outside of your usual framework and considering how others experience the same situation. This act of shifting perspectives can challenge assumptions and uncover insights you might never have considered on your own. Consider a workplace example. Imagine you're leading a team project and feeling frustrated because a colleague isn't contributing as much as you expected. Your initial assumption might be that they're uninterested, unmotivated, or even lazy. However, when you take the time to have a conversation with them, you might discover they're dealing with personal challenges, feel unclear about their role, or are hesitant to share ideas due to past criticism. This shift in perspective not only helps resolve the immediate issue, but also fosters empathy and trust. By understanding their circumstances, you can adjust your approach, improving collaboration and strengthening the relationship. The ability to adopt different perspectives doesn't just enhance relationships, it improves problem-solving and creativity. Let's say you're brainstorming ideas for a community event. If you rely solely on your own preferences, you might focus on what you think people will enjoy, limiting the scope of your ideas. But by actively seeking input from diverse groups, families, teenagers, seniors, or local business owners, you're likely to uncover a wider range of needs, preferences, and priorities. This broader understanding leads to more inclusive decisions and a greater likelihood of success. When we consider perspectives beyond our own, we're better equipped to create solutions that work for a broader audience. Shifting perspectives is also a powerful way to break down assumptions. Imagine a debate where two people hold opposing views on a controversial topic. Each person firmly believes they are right and may dismiss the other as uninformed, biased, or stubborn. If both individuals took the time to ask, why does this person believe what they do? What experiences or values might shape their viewpoint? They might find common ground or uncover new insights. Even if they ultimately disagree, the act of listening and reflecting broadens their understanding of the issue and helps them engage in more productive dialogue. One of the most effective ways to practice perspective shifting is by asking thoughtful questions. When you encounter a viewpoint that differs from your own, pause and ask yourself, what experiences or values might lead someone to think this way? What can I learn from their perspective? This mindset turns differences into opportunities for growth, rather than sources of conflict. For example, if a friend chooses to prioritize spending on experiences, like travel or dining out, rather than saving for material possessions, understanding their reasoning might inspire you to re-examine your own approach to spending and saving. Curiosity, rather than judgment, becomes the driving force behind these conversations. Another powerful tool for broadening perspective is storytelling. Stories allow us to step into someone else's shoes and experience the world through their eyes. Think about the last time you watched a movie or read a book that deeply moved you. Chances are, it gave you a glimpse into a life, culture, or challenge different from your own. This emotional connection fosters empathy, helping you understand and appreciate perspectives that might otherwise seem foreign or difficult to relate to. For example, a memoir about a refugee's journey might not only inform you about global issues, but also make you more attuned to the struggles and resilience of individuals in your own community. Real-world scenarios demonstrate the transformative power of shifting perspectives. Consider how companies that embrace diverse viewpoints often create innovative products and services. When automakers began involving more women engineers in their design teams, they discovered features that had been overlooked, such as adjustable seats, more intuitive storage spaces, and better visibility. These innovations weren't just about catering to women, they improved the driving experience for everyone. By valuing and incorporating different perspectives, these companies expanded their market appeal and created better outcomes for their customers. Shifting perspectives doesn't mean abandoning your own beliefs or agreeing with everyone else. Instead, it's about recognizing that your viewpoint is one piece of a larger puzzle. By exploring other angles, you enrich your understanding of complex issues and develop solutions that are more thoughtful and inclusive. It's a skill that not only improves your personal and professional life, but also strengthens your ability to connect with and learn from the world around you. When you make a habit of stepping into someone else's shoes, you'll find new opportunities to grow, collaborate, and thrive. To apply this concept in your life, start small. Think about a recent disagreement or situation where you felt strongly about your opinion. Take a moment to write down your perspective, and then challenge yourself to imagine how someone else involved might see the same situation. What factors might influence their view? What can you learn from it? By practicing this exercise regularly, you'll strengthen your ability to think flexibly and understand the world more fully. Perspective shifting is not about abandoning your beliefs or agreeing with everyone. It's about expanding your capacity to see the bigger picture and make thoughtful, informed choices. As we move into the next chapter, we'll explore how balancing logic and emotion enhances your decision-making even further. For now, embrace the opportunity to step into someone else's shoes and discover the richness of seeing beyond your own viewpoint. Chapter 7. Logic and Emotion. Finding the balance. Have you ever faced a decision where your heart pulled you in one direction, but your mind pointed to another? This inner conflict between emotion and logic is something we all experience. While emotions add depth and humanity to our decisions, logic provides structure and clarity. Striking the right balance between these two forces is key to effective decision-making and critical thinking. In this chapter, we'll explore how logic and emotion work together and how to harness both to make choices that align with your goals and values. Emotions are a natural and essential part of human life. They inform us about what matters and guide us toward meaningful actions. For instance, excitement about a new job opportunity can motivate you to pursue it, while fear of making a mistake might encourage you to prepare thoroughly. However, emotions can also cloud judgment when left unchecked. Acting out of anger, for example, might lead to a hasty decision that you later regret. This is where logic steps in, offering a rational framework to evaluate options and outcomes. Logic, on the other hand, is the ability to reason and think systematically. It helps you weigh the pros and cons, analyze risks, and predict potential consequences. For example, if you're deciding whether to buy a house, logical thinking prompts you to consider factors like your budget, location, and long-term financial stability. Yet logic alone can sometimes feel cold or overly rigid, ignoring the personal or emotional aspects that make a decision truly fulfilling. The key to balancing logic and emotion lies in understanding their roles. Think of them as teammates, each bringing unique strengths to the table. Emotions help you identify what's important, while logic ensures you approach it thoughtfully. Imagine you're choosing between two job offers. One offers higher pay, but the other aligns with your passion. Emotion might draw you toward the passion-driven role, while logic advises you to consider financial security. By acknowledging both, you can explore compromises, perhaps negotiating a better salary at the passion-driven job, or considering long-term growth opportunities. To illustrate this balance, consider a personal example. Maria was deciding whether to move to a new city for a promotion. Emotionally, she felt excited about the opportunity, but also worried about leaving her close-knit family. Logically, the promotion offered significant career growth and financial stability. By reflecting on both perspectives, Maria decided to take the job, but made a plan to visit her family regularly. This approach honored her emotions while still prioritizing her long-term goals. Balancing logic and emotion is especially important in relationships. Imagine a friend who forgot your birthday. Emotionally, you might feel hurt or unappreciated, leading to anger or disappointment. Logic, however, might remind you that they've been busy with work or family and didn't forget intentionally. By considering both your feelings and the bigger picture, you can address the situation calmly and maintain the relationship. One way to practice this balance is by pausing before making decisions. When faced with a choice, take a moment to identify your emotional response. What are you feeling and why? Then, consider the logical aspects. What facts do you have? What outcomes are possible? This pause allows you to integrate both perspectives and make a well-rounded decision. Real-life examples highlight the power of this approach. Think of firefighters or emergency responders who often face life or death situations. While their emotions, like fear or compassion, drive them to act, their training equips them with logical protocols to ensure safety and effectiveness. Their ability to balance these forces allows them to perform under pressure and make sound decisions in critical moments. To help you apply this concept, try this exercise. Think about a recent decision where you felt torn between your emotions and logic. Reflect on how each influenced your choice. Did you lean more toward one than the other? If so, how did that impact the outcome? Write down what you could have done differently to create a better balance. Consider how you might approach similar decisions in the future, with both your heart and mind in harmony. Balancing logic and emotion isn't about suppressing one or overemphasizing the other. It's about creating a partnership between them. By understanding their strengths and limitations, you can make decisions that are not only rational, but also deeply satisfying. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to think systematically, connecting the dots between ideas and actions to enhance your problem-solving skills. For now, take pride in your ability to blend emotion and logic, creating a foundation for thoughtful and meaningful choices. Chapter 8. Making Connections. Thinking Systematically. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a problem that seemed to have too many moving parts? Or struggled to figure out how one decision might impact other areas of your life? Systematic thinking, the ability to see connections and understand how different elements interact, is a powerful tool for solving problems and making informed decisions. In this chapter, we'll explore how thinking systematically helps you approach challenges with clarity and confidence, allowing you to connect the dots and create effective solutions. At its core, systematic thinking is about recognizing that no decision or problem exists in isolation. Every choice has a ripple effect, influencing other areas of your life or work. For example, imagine you're planning to start a new fitness routine. On the surface, it might seem like a straightforward decision, just go to the gym a few times a week. But systematic thinking prompts you to consider related factors: your schedule, your energy levels, your diet, and even how this new habit might affect your family time. By seeing the bigger picture, you can create a plan that integrates seamlessly into your life. A great way to understand systematic thinking is through real-world examples. Consider a company launching a new product. A surface-level approach might focus solely on the product's features and benefits. However, a systematic thinker considers other factors: market trends, customer feedback, supply chain logistics, marketing strategies, and potential risks. By connecting these elements, the company can anticipate challenges and adjust its strategy for a successful launch. Systematic thinking also helps you identify patterns and relationships, which can lead to innovative solutions. Take the example of city planners working to reduce traffic congestion. Instead of simply adding more roads, they might analyze the broader system, including public transportation, pedestrian pathways, and commuter behavior. This holistic approach often leads to creative solutions, like bike-sharing programs or staggered work hours, that address the root causes of the problem. In personal life, systematic thinking can help you make better long-term decisions. Suppose you're deciding whether to move to a new city for a job opportunity. Instead of focusing solely on the salary, a systematic thinker would consider other factors: the cost of living, the impact on family or social connections, career growth potential, and the quality of life in the new location. By connecting these dots, you can weigh the pros and cons more effectively and make a decision that aligns with your goals. One of the most valuable aspects of systematic thinking is its ability to reveal unintended consequences. Imagine you're a manager trying to improve team productivity by implementing stricter deadlines. While this might seem like a logical solution, systematic thinking helps you consider how this change might affect employee morale, creativity, and work quality. By anticipating these ripple effects, you can adjust your approach to achieve better results. Developing systematic thinking starts with asking the right questions. When faced with a challenge, consider: what are the key components of this situation? How do they relate to each other? What might happen if I change one element? These questions encourage you to move beyond surface-level analysis and explore the interconnected nature of the problem. For instance, let's say you're managing your monthly budget and notice that dining out is a significant expense. Instead of simply deciding to cut back, systematic thinking helps you examine related factors. Are there ways to cook at home that save time and effort? Could meal prepping reduce stress and expenses simultaneously? By exploring these connections, you create a plan that addresses the issue holistically. To practice systematic thinking, try this exercise. Think about a challenge or decision you're currently facing. Write down all the factors involved, no matter how small or unrelated they may seem. Then, draw connections between these factors, asking how one might influence another. What patterns emerge? What potential outcomes can you anticipate? Reflect on how this analysis changes your understanding of the situation and guides your next steps. Systematic thinking isn't about overcomplicating decisions. It's about creating a clear map of the factors at play so you can navigate challenges with insight and purpose. The more you practice, the more natural this approach becomes, helping you make decisions that are not only thoughtful, but also aligned with your long-term goals. In the next chapter, we'll build on this foundation by exploring how to turn thoughtful analysis into decisive action, bringing your plans to life. For now, take pride in your growing ability to think systematically and uncover the connections that shape your world. Chapter 9: Decisive Action, Turning Thought into Solutions. Have you ever felt paralyzed by indecision, even when you had all the information you needed? Thinking critically and systematically is powerful, but without action, it remains incomplete. Decisive action bridges the gap between thoughtful analysis and real-world impact. In this chapter, we'll explore how to move from thinking to doing, transforming your insights into solutions that create meaningful results. Taking action often feels daunting because it involves risk and uncertainty. What if the decision doesn't work out? What if there's a better option you didn't consider? These fears are natural, but they can be managed. The key is to recognize that no decision is perfect or entirely risk-free. Instead of waiting for absolute certainty, decisive action means making the best choice you can with the information you have and learning as you go. Consider a common example. Starting a new project at work. You've brainstormed ideas, analyzed the possibilities, and gathered input from your team. Now it's time to take the first step. Decisive action might involve choosing one idea to test, even if it's not guaranteed to succeed. By taking action, you gain real-world feedback that helps refine your approach. Inaction, on the other hand, stalls progress and leaves potential opportunities unexplored. One of the biggest challenges to taking decisive action is overthinking. Imagine you're deciding whether to apply for a job that excites you but feels slightly out of reach. Instead of focusing on why you might not be qualified, a decisive mindset focuses on what you can do. Updating your resume, reaching out to connections, or drafting a compelling cover letter. Even if you don't land the job, the experience prepares you for future opportunities and builds confidence in your ability to act. Decisive action doesn't mean acting impulsively. It's about balancing thought and execution. Let's take the example of planning a family vacation. A thoughtful approach might involve researching destinations, comparing costs, and considering everyone's preferences. At some point, though, you'll need to make a decision. Book the flights, reserve the accommodations, and finalize the itinerary. Waiting too long could mean losing out on options or missing the opportunity altogether. Decisive action ensures that your planning translates into an enjoyable experience. To develop a habit of decisive action, start by breaking tasks into manageable steps. For instance, if you're working on a long-term goal, like writing a book, the idea of completing it might feel overwhelming. But taking the first step, writing a rough outline or drafting the opening paragraph, gets the momentum going. Each small action builds confidence and creates a sense of progress, making the larger goal feel achievable. Real-life stories demonstrate the power of decisive action. Think of entrepreneurs who launch startups despite uncertainty, or artists who share their work with the world, knowing it might face criticism. What sets them apart is their willingness to act, adapt, and keep moving forward. They understand that success is rarely the result of a single, perfect decision. It's the culmination of many small, imperfect actions taken with purpose and courage. One tool that helps with decisive action is setting deadlines. Deadlines create urgency and help overcome procrastination. For example, if you're planning to learn a new skill, setting a goal like, "I'll complete this course by the end of the month," gives you a clear time frame to work toward. Without a deadline, it's easy to keep postponing action, waiting for the right moment that never comes. To put this concept into practice, try this exercise. Think about a decision or task you've been delaying. It could be something big, like starting a new career path, or something small, like organizing your workspace. Write down one action you can take today to move forward. It doesn't have to be perfect or comprehensive, just something that creates momentum. Once you've taken that step, reflect on how it felt and what you learned. Use this reflection to guide your next action. Decisive action is the engine that drives growth and change. It turns your ideas, plans, and insights into tangible results, building confidence and resilience along the way. As we move into the final chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate a growth mindset that keeps you learning and improving, even after challenges or setbacks. For now, celebrate every step you take toward turning thought into action, knowing that each one brings you closer to your goals. Chapter 10. The Growth Mindset. Critical Thinking for Life. What if every challenge you faced was an opportunity to grow? What if every mistake you made was a stepping stone toward success? These questions lie at the heart of a growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and resilience. In this final chapter, we'll explore how adopting a growth mindset fuels lifelong critical thinking and helps you approach life's challenges with optimism and determination. A growth mindset is the understanding that intelligence and talents are not fixed traits, but skills that can be cultivated. This perspective contrasts with a fixed mindset, which assumes that abilities are set in stone. When you embrace a growth mindset, you view failures as valuable lessons rather than insurmountable roadblocks. For example, if you struggle to learn a new skill, a fixed mindset might say, "I'm just not good at this," while a growth mindset reframes it as, "I need more practice and new strategies." Critical thinking thrives on a growth mindset because it encourages curiosity, persistence, and openness to feedback. Imagine you're learning to play an instrument. The first time you try, it feels awkward, and the sounds are far from harmonious. A fixed mindset might lead you to quit, thinking you lack talent. A growth mindset, however, motivates you to analyze what isn't working, seek guidance, and keep practicing until you improve. This same principle applies to any challenge you encounter, whether it's solving a complex problem at work or navigating personal relationships. Let's consider a real-world example. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset allowed him to persevere through countless setbacks, ultimately achieving success. Edison's story illustrates that growth comes not from avoiding failure, but from embracing it as a natural part of progress. Cultivating a growth mindset requires shifting how you approach challenges and setbacks. One way to do this is by focusing on effort and learning rather than outcomes. For instance, instead of aiming to be the best at something, aim to improve a little each day. This shift reduces the fear of failure and helps you stay motivated, even when progress feels slow. A student preparing for exams might celebrate mastering a tough concept rather than obsessing over getting a perfect score, knowing that every step forward builds their understanding. Another aspect of a growth mindset is embracing feedback as a tool for improvement. Imagine an athlete training for a competition. If their coach points out a flaw in their technique, a fixed mindset might interpret this as criticism and feel discouraged. A growth mindset, however, sees feedback as an opportunity to refine skills and achieve greater success. The same applies to everyday life. Whether it's receiving constructive criticism at work or learning from a friend's perspective, feedback is a gift that accelerates growth. Mindset also plays a critical role in how you respond to challenges. Suppose you're working on a big project and hit an unexpected obstacle. A fixed mindset might lead to frustration and thoughts like, "This is too hard, I'll never finish." A growth mindset, on the other hand, reframes the obstacle as a puzzle to solve. What can I learn from this? How can I adapt my approach? This shift not only keeps you moving forward, but also strengthens your problem-solving skills. Real-life examples of growth mindset thinkers abound. Consider authors who face rejection before publishing bestsellers, or scientists who conduct hundreds of experiments before making breakthroughs. Their ability to persist through failure and uncertainty stems from their belief in the power of effort and learning. This mindset doesn't guarantee immediate success, but it ensures progress, resilience, and eventual achievement. To start applying a growth mindset to your own life, try this exercise. Think about a recent challenge or setback you faced. Reflect on how you responded. Did you feel discouraged or motivated to try again? Write down 3 ways you can reframe the situation to focus on growth. For example, what did you learn from the experience? What strengths did it reveal? How can you use this lesson to approach similar challenges differently in the future? This exercise helps train your mind to see opportunities in every difficulty. As you move forward, remember that a growth mindset is a lifelong journey. It's not about eliminating doubts or failures, but about choosing to see them as stepping stones toward your goals. With every effort, every adjustment, and every reflection, you build the skills and confidence to face life's challenges head-on. Critical thinking becomes not just a tool for problem solving, but a way of living, curious, adaptive, and full of possibility. This chapter marks the conclusion of our journey together, but it's only the beginning of your own path to personal growth and critical thinking. Take pride in how far you've come and look forward to the endless opportunities ahead. Each day is a chance to think, analyze, solve, and grow into the best version of yourself. Throughout this journey, we've explored the transformative power of critical thinking, how it enables you to understand your thought patterns, ask insightful questions, analyze complex problems, and turn ideas into action. Each chapter has built upon the last, guiding you toward a mindset that is thoughtful, resilient, and growth-oriented. By embracing these principles, you're equipped not only to solve challenges, but also to approach life with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this book and invest in your personal growth. Your commitment to learning and reflection is a testament to your potential. If you found this content valuable, I encourage you to continue sharing your journey. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more resources that inspire and empower. Here's to your ongoing success and the incredible possibilities that lie ahead.